Do you think the perfect is the enemy of the good in hardware and software engineering? So, like, we were talking about JavaScript a little bit and the messiness of the 10-day building process.
Yeah, it's creative tension, right?
Hmm.
So creative tension is you have two different ideas that you can't do both, right?
Right.
But the fact that you want to do both causes you to go try to solve that problem. That's the creative part. So if you're building computers, like some people say, we have the schedule, and anything that doesn't fit in the schedule, we can't do, right? So they throw out the perfect because they have a schedule. I hate that. Right? Then there's other people that say we need to get this perfectly right, and no matter what, more people, more money, right? And there's a really clear idea about what you want. And some people are really good at articulating it, right? So let's call that the perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but that's also terrible because they never ship anything, and you never hit any goals. So now you have your framework.
Yes.
You can't throw out stuff because you can't get it done today, because maybe you get it done tomorrow or the next project, right? You can't. So you have to. I work with a guy that I really like working with, but he over filters his ideas.
Over filters.
He'd start thinking about something, and as soon as he figured out what's wrong with it, he'd throw it out.
Mm.
And then I start thinking about it, and you come up with an idea, and then you find out what's wrong with it, and then you give it a little time to set, because sometimes you figure out how to tweak it, or maybe that idea helps some other idea. So idea generation is really funny. So you have to give your ideas space. Like spaciousness of mind is key. But you also have to execute programs and get shit done. And then it turns out computer engineering is fun because it takes 100 people to build a computer, 200 to 300, whatever the number is. And people are so variable about temperament and skill sets and stuff, that in a big organization, you find that the people who love the perfect ideas and the people that want to get stuff done yesterday, and people like to come up with ideas, and people like to, let's say, shoot down ideas. And it takes a large group of people.
So some are good at generating ideas, some are good at filtering ideas, and then in that giant mess, you're somehow. I guess the goal is for that giant mess of people to find the perfect path through the tension, the creative tension. But like, how do you know when you said there's some people good at articulating what perfect looks like, what a good design is? Like if you're sitting in a room and you have a set of ideas about like how to design a better processor, how do you know this is something special here? This is a good idea. Let's try this.
So have you ever brainstormed idea with a couple of people that were really smart, and you kind of go into it and you don't quite understand it, and you're working on it, and then you start talking about it, putting it on the whiteboard. Maybe it takes days or weeks, and then your brain starts to kind of synchronize. It's really weird. And like you start to see what each other is thinking, and it starts to work. Like you can see it work. Like my talent in computer design is I can see how computers work in my head, like really well. And I know other people can do that too. And when you're working with people that can do that, like it is kind of an amazing experience. And every once in a while you get to that place, and then you find the flaw, and it was just kind of funny because you can fool yourself. But
the two of you kind of drifted along into a direction that was useless.
Yeah, that happens too. Like you have to, because the nice thing about computer design is always reduction to practice. Like you come up with your good ideas, and I know some architects who really love ideas, and then they work on them and they put it on the shelf. Then go work on the next idea and put it on the shelf. They never reduce it to practice, so they find out what's good and bad. Because almost every time I've done something really new, by the time it's done, like the good parts are good, but I know all the flaws. Like,
yeah. Would you say your career, just your own experience, is your career defined mostly by flaws or by successes? Like
again, there's great tension between those. If you haven't tried hard, right, and done something new, right, then you're not going to be facing the challenges when you build it. Then you find out all the problems with it.